This is the 12.9 inch iDoing Apple CarPlay Android Auto head unit upgrade. You're gonna get a much larger screen. We're gonna move a lot of the factory controls over. You're probably wondering, what is this thing like? What is it like to install? We're gonna go over all of that in this video. Here at CarmaSpeed, we sell a ton of these head units, so I'll have the link at the top of the description if you want to order this. All of these head units, all brands, are made overseas in China, including this one. We're one of the biggest distributors for iDoing specifically, so when you order from us, you're getting direct from the source, the best pricing possible, and a safe place to order from, most importantly, when you're working with people overseas, because we work with them directly. Now keep in mind, these head units are not perfect. These head units come with 2 bags of wires and such, some directions we're gonna go over, and a user manual. By the end of this video, my goal is to help you figure out, is this the right head unit for you, or should you stick with the factory one? For some of you, this is gonna be worth it. For some of you, you might wanna stay away from it. The last thing the CarmaSpeed team wants for you is to end up with a head unit you don't love. In most cases, there's trade-offs that happen with upgrades on vehicles, and our goal is to build your confidence up to know if this is the right one for you. Let's look at the head unit up close. Large screen, it's a little bit bigger diameter than 12.9, but the actual screen once it's on is exactly 12.9. You got a mute button, volume here, AC temp buttons up and down, media button also, defrost fans up and down. You also have the AC controls in the screen. We'll obviously move everything over. We'll be testing the fitment of all the factory buttons for all these tabs and such. Sometimes this ABS plastic, they get it really close overseas and they ship it over and mass produce it. Sometimes there's clipping issues, which we'll figure out if there is in this video. And then everything plug and play from iDoing is why I like them over a lot. And there's not really a wrong way to hook this up. 2 bags of wires. Let's open this one. The wires can be really overwhelming, but if you take it one step at a time and just follow this video, you'll feel good. So I read the directions ahead of time for us, and there's 2 of these cables right here. This taps into the factory control module for the speakers and the radio. These Chevys have like a brain before the head unit, and it's got to work with it. So we're gonna pick one of these 2, depending on which one this truck has. They send both. Then you have what's called a CAN bus adapter. That's basically the language and setup coding wise that your car runs off of. And we also have the camera retention interface. There's a bunch of plugins and such. This is all one wiring harness that will plug into our factory cables. That's pretty simple there. Now we pop over to the second bag. This is where things can get a little more chaotic. If you're running a completely aftermarket sound system, they have all the RCAs for you. And then this is a SIM card reader right here if you want to have a dedicated SIM card to have data and cellular to basically have internet in your Android tablet all the time, essentially is what this is. We will not be using this most likely today, so I'm going to set this aside. This is a individual USB. Usually this is for your wired CarPlay, so we will be putting that in. There's a second one here, a 4 and a 6. I'm not sure. We'll figure out why that's there. There's a mounting bracket of some sort. We'll figure that out later. This is a GPS antenna. We will be using this and putting it behind the dash. If you want to use the internal GPS, you can. Most of the time you're going to be on Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, and your phone has a GPS data, so that's just if you don't have your phone connected. This is going to be your 4G antenna, so if you're using a SIM card, you can put this behind the dash and it will receive that information from the cell towers. This is new to me. This is a Wi-Fi and Bluetooth interface antenna. This is going to transmit data to and from the truck's control module for the radio, which is unique to these newer generation Silverados. So this is going to be used for sure. This little harness is used for a backup camera if you have an aftermarket one. The owner of this truck is going to be using the factory one. It is not installed today, so it won't be working, but if you wanted to install an aftermarket one, you could. So you have both options, factory or aftermarket. You would use that adapter, and it comes with a plastic pry tool for trim pieces and a little baby screwdriver. You're gonna get these directions that make it pretty simple. It's a print off of everything that you would need, and it explains how it's all set up and then how you connect to the factory control module for the radio in the truck to the head unit. And this is what's interesting and unique to these newer generation Silverados, and we'll be diving into it. So the whole premise of the video is so that you don't have to go through this and you can just watch the video. So let's get to work.
Also included are these silver trim pieces.
The first thing I'm gonna do is there's a 7mm bolt right there. Pull that out. On most trucks, there's another 7mm on this side. This one there is not. Then we're gonna wanna get this trim piece out. and slide it out. Next, we need to get this trim piece off right here. I've seen on some trucks there's some bolts underneath, so just do a visual check. These are tough. No need to stress though. We just gotta find, with some non-marring pry tools, where the give points are at. There we go. I'm gonna leave a kit in the description to a bunch of more non-marring pry tools. It's all about where you apply pressure. It doesn't usually take as much pressure as it feels. It's more about finding the right spot and pulling it in the right direction. So I know this one just needs to kind of come straight out. Oh, there it goes. Okay, cool. Now it's time to get this silver trim piece out. So I'm gonna go with the included tool, get under this edge. Okay, I found it. Now I'm gonna work my fingers up, and that's gonna lightly pop everything out. Make sure you don't cut your finger. Don't be too confident. Coming from the passenger side, I don't wanna pull too hard here. I'd rather work smarter and do what I just did, because I know it already works. This side right here, 2 tools pulling out was safe. I wanna take my fingers, work my way up. Boom, see how nicely that came out from just being a little bit patient? Okay, that can be set up there. Now we have some T15 bolts all the way around. The first ones are down here at the bottom. Then we have some on the side, some up top. We should be able to pull this out. Perfect. Only thing holding this on now is all of these individual plugs. So we'll pull these out one at a time. This one right here is pretty stiff. This tab is really small on it. Okay, this plug, you've got a black tab and then a white tab. You have to, blow all this dust out because that was making it hard and gritty. Then you got to get one of these pry tools or something of that sort to press down on the black tab, and then you press it hard enough to release the white tab. They work together. So first goes down the black, you press a little harder, then the white releases, then you wiggle and it will pop out. There's another one down here. All right, this one's a major pain in the butt. Everything's still intact, but the best thing you can do is use a sharp pick, go on top of the black and attack the base of the connector and push that down. It's a black and a white push tab that holds this in place. It's like a double security. That is very excessive, GM, not fun. All right, so anytime you see a red tab, that's like a safety release. So I'm gonna go and individually pop each one of these up with my pick tool. Then on the side of each plug at the base of the red, not the red, is the release tab. I like to use the tip of this to push it in because you can get it to bottom out better than if it was your finger, and they come out a lot easier. You're just gonna work your way down. These are all pretty obvious. I'm gonna take it out and rotate it. If you take a picture of these plugs to ChatGPT and tell it that it's a GM technician, it actually is very helpful on tips on how to individually get these out. Wow. So this one right here, the white tab slides up and it fully releases it. These 2 lower ones are gonna be a hell of a time. These little skinny ones, there's a tab on the inside and they're the same. All right, those 2 are released. All right, let's get this last one. I'm gonna rotate it upside down. Okay, pulled up the release. Woo! Okay, carefully get that out of the way. Let's go through each one of these tabs. This is easy. You press down on the top, comes out easy. This is where things get difficult quickly. I'm gonna use my pokey one for reference because it's easier for you to see. This black tab has to be pressed down, and then you have to press it down even harder to get this white tab. This little center one right here, you see it, I'm pointing at it, that has to depress also. It helps to push this into the unit, relieve all pressure from the wires while you're decompressing that connection point. Now, the next one down, this little ring tab got in the way, and I got my thin thin pick and got down to this deep part and pressed the white down solely with the pick. That was the only way I could get it to release without harming the pins or loosening anything, and that actually was very successful. Moving on from there, all of these red deals slide up. Then you're going to take your pry tool and depress the black part underneath the red all the way, and they slide out. These are all the same way. You can see this one, you press it in on the black right there. So the red pops up, it stops on its own, depress the black, and it will come out. So all those are the same. Here's another easy one. This is for the cigarette lighter. This one kind of sucked. You got it twisted upside down. You got the red to pop out. Then this whole entire gray piece, you can see the little tab right here. You have to press this whole thing down. Man, that is a son of a gun. But if you just get even pressure right here and press it down hard and then wiggle it out slowly, it will come out. Here's another red one with a black tab underneath, same exact thing. The white one, white plastic square, has to go up. Be careful, once you get that up, that one just slid out. The last one to talk about is on the inside right here. You depress this little part and it slides out really easy, and it's on the side that's harder to get to, of course, but you can get to it. But again, these are the part that's going to make your day hard. The white piece right in the center right there, that's what's going to make your day hard. Just figure out how to depress that very carefully, and that's what will release it all. It's like a double clip safety deal mechanism. That's probably going to be the hardest part of the day. With what you know, you can definitely do it. And having a pick like this and these pry tools, having a plethora of them and a pick, you'll be fine. Trust me, if I can do it, you can do it. We are ready to get the new head unit in. After doing a lot of these installs, I acclimate myself to what's the game plan for the wiring. This is gonna go behind the dash. This is also gonna go behind the dash. When you do attach this to the head unit itself, we need to have a game plan for how we're gonna wire these in and where they're gonna go in the truck. And then we talked about these two. We need to figure out which one this truck uses depending on the model. I'm gonna go ahead and attach this. Take the little red cap off. It says Wi-Fi Bluetooth. Gonna snug this up by hand. Then that can hang out right there. Let's figure out which of these two we need. I remember just looking at it, this one's a little more square. Looks more like a USB, like your atypical micro USB is what it looks like. So look in here, it matches up. Boom, those connect. That's what we're gonna use. So I'm gonna take this cable over, set it right here, grab my CAN bus adapter and all that, and this one we just decided on. It's gonna connect there. Before we go any further with this, I want to transfer all the vents and everything over, so let's set this aside. You'll see these gold tabs. I removed one here with 2 picks. If you look at it, it's got 4 teeth that grab that tab. You got to get those out, and then there's the ones on the outside that grab the actual dash. So you got to start at the source of the ones that are grabbing the plastic and move them over one at a time. I'm gonna go ahead and slide this one on. They're a little bit tedious, but once you kind of find the sweet spot, you can get them in. You want to make sure you have them seated all the way. Use your tools to do that. Don't mess up your hands. These top ones fit really nice. I'm pleased with that. I like to use this tool. This is an O-ring seal removal tool. If you look at that, it's like a spatula a little bit. So we can go on each one of these tabs and release them on the sides of these individual pieces. So we can walk it over. Pops in perfectly. Got the USB that needs to push through the front. There we go. Then we can lift this up. Pop all 4 of those tabs in. Check its sturdiness, that's good to go. So we got 4 tabs, 2 top, 2 bottom. Push that through the front. This is the wall plug. That popped in nicely. I've seen in other videos that didn't fit right on another brand, so that's nice that that fits here on the iDoing. While I'm doing this, I'm gonna put pressure on the cigarette lighter and push it towards us. I'm gonna use the little screwdriver that it came with. So hand on the back side, pushing it towards us. Okay, that's slid out. That pulls out. So when you're looking at it, I put pressure on the tab on that side and kind of tilted it to get it to hold released, and then I went to the other side and released the other one second, and then it slid out. Flip it back over, the housing, you can easily squeeze the tabs now to push it through and pull this out. Hop over here, pop it in place. It only goes in one way. Push it all the way in, and we're dialed. Next, we need to get this control panel over. 4 bolts. They're all T20. So a little bit bigger than the last Torx bolts we pulled out. Top and bottom. Side to side. Wiggle it out. Direct transfer. I do not recommend using this power ratchet if you are not extremely comfortable with it like me. It's hard to tell how tight you are on things until you get really acclimated. I have that touch. You just want these snug. Check it by hand, feels firm, good to go. Now let's get these AC vents over. These little tabs. I apply pressure one side, come over to the other side. These things can be kind of finicky, so I'm gonna stick my pick on one side while I'm doing the other. Keep those two released. For these AC vents, since they're so kind of brittle, you almost have to find 4 picks to just barely wedge in there enough to release it. Okay, one side's released without any issues. There we go. No broken tabs. Pop right over. All 4 snapped in as planned. I'm gonna get that to rest at the base. Do another one. That side actually worked to fully pop out. Then all I gotta do is pop the other side out. Boom. Just take your time. Line all these up. So like these are not lining up right away. So I just had to make sure they're lined up right. Press them in. I think that's it. Take a look. Yeah, that looks great. We have the 2 female USB cables. One is a 4-pin, one is a 6-pin. You'll see that's the 4, that's the 6. We're gonna put both of those female USBs in this glove box, and the owner of this truck can decide if he wants to do anything different. But there's tabs on the side. You just need to flex the side and then it will drop out. And that's how you get this out. It's really easy. I'm gonna route each of these USBs through here. Leave that there. Do the same thing for the other one. This is where you can start to decide for yourself where you want your cables to be and be as picky or lazy as you want. Okay, there's those. Hold them up. This will still close and these will be right here ready to go. Doesn't pinch them or anything. I'm gonna take the GPS connector and I'm gonna stick it right back behind where my hand is. I cleaned it with isopropyl alcohol and got the dust and everything out. I'm gonna pull the red tape. I'm gonna slide it behind, make sure it has a nice strong connection. And then this cable will be good to hook up. Now this is the 4G antenna you could also put right here. I'm not gonna install it. I know that the owner of this truck is not gonna use it. It would just be a waste to have a dedicated cell service for your head unit in your car. Very few people probably will do this, so no reason to install this if we're not gonna use it. But you could put this here and hook it up if you needed to. Or you can even route it somewhere underneath the dash where it might have even better signal. Now I have our wiring harness and I'd like to connect as many things as I can. So let's start with what we know. This teal looking plug that goes up here for the radio control module, that definitely goes there. I'm looking for things that would plug in to the truck. So usually it's these big female looking plugs and it usually only fits one. So I found a red and a black that goes in there. I'm not gonna do the safety clip yet. Okay, I found another one that plugs in there. This black box has a LED running now, so it's getting power from the truck. Okay, so remain calm. Look for other connection points. Not seeing any other female plugs. Does not look like it. Okay, I think we're ready for the head unit. So there's a large tab at the bottom down here that I can set it in. It's a nice support. The screen does have a protector on it, but I'm gonna put that towel there. And this buys me the comfort to plug things in at my own pace. So I'm gonna get all the cables, work them to an accessible place. So let's start one at a time. Let's get this long one done. This is my GPS. That's snug. Let's go ahead and push this out of the way into the dash. This big black plug in the corner, easy one to knock out right into the head unit. And let's see this white plug. We got 8 pins on this one. Goes into that one. Looks like we got like 10. This one goes down here lower. Then we need to get our 2 USBs we hooked up. We got 1, 2, both USBs. I'm gonna start plugging stuff in at the bottom. Okay, everything's looking pretty good. Let's get this up as high as possible. I have a feeling this one's gonna be kind of a pain to figure out where it stores. All right, everything looks plugged in. So we're gonna grab all the wires with the RCAs and see the CVBS in 1, this yellow RCA, we're gonna need that. So we're gonna plug that in to the head unit here in its spot. Then we're gonna grab the AHD, plug those together. This harness for the aftermarket backup camera, I'm gonna plug in. I'm just gonna leave it here for the owner. I was told to close the doors and lock it for 5 minutes. I asked them, why is this? I quote, if the power is not turned off and the car is locked for 5 minutes, there may be a problem with the touchscreen not working. Not gonna take my chances, so I'm gonna sit on the couch for 5 minutes. I recommend you do the same. All right, it's been 5 minutes. When I booted it up, this console app was not here. So how do we get that? Because we need that to connect to the factory module to get the speakers to communicate. System, setting guide, vehicle type protocol, 8861. Then you're gonna go here and select 2019 8-inch or 7-inch. These head units ship with the 8-inch on. So I switched it to the 2019 7-inch because that's what this truck was. That made the console pop up. So it's one extra step for the 7-inch, guys. We need to link this to the truck. So you're gonna hit console, then you're gonna hit the phone, connect phone, hit the plus, add phone, My Chevrolet. You're gonna go back to apps, actually hit that home button, then hit Bluetooth up in the corner, link, external devices, pair new device, My Chevrolet, pair, go back to console, pair. Now the head unit is connected to the truck. Let's go home. At the home screen, hit Bluetooth again. Let's hit connect. Going into my phone, okay, I hit connect, I see it pop up on my phone. So the truck is considered an external device, that's why it's in a different menu. So I'm letting this connect to my phone under the connect button. Pair, I'm not gonna allow just because it's not my truck. For the favorites, okay, it's connected. Home, apps, car auto, connecting, please wait. Connect with Apple CarPlay, it's wireless or wired. Boom, now let's go for some music. There we go. Let's freaking go. This is actually sick. If you swipe all the way this way, it has this little clock, the weather. This is pretty sweet. This is what the maps looks like. Everything's pretty quick. Settings. I'm gonna do a test call. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Is it hard to hear me?
No.
Sweet. Okay, thank you. That's all I needed to know. Well, that's good news. That's using the factory mic too. That's a game changer. Got a little mute button here. That's nice. My passenger door is open. Shows both doors are open, so that feature still works. If we hit our AC, we don't have auto or anything. This truck was a base model, so it only had temperature up and down, which we can use these buttons, which is nice, and you'll see it change down here. We'll click it, and then we can also use the fans to make the fan speed go up or back down. So you have physical buttons still. You have the AC on and off. If we click it up at least one, turn the AC on or off, we can adjust our temp and we can see it down there. We can change where it's blowing, recirculation, everything's right there. We have the power button to shut it all the way off. We can click this right here, go back to our Apple CarPlay. When we have these buttons on this base model, we don't even need to open that. I got my home screen cleaned up, deleted any apps that I would never use. In this process, when I went to press the AC buttons, nothing on this AC was working. All I did was cycle the key once and it started working. So notate that in your head. Otherwise, everything's working as it should. Let's talk about YouTube, Spotify, all that. We go to the Play Store, you would sign in just like an Android device and download any app you want. It's gonna show up in here. You can watch YouTube. I'm not gonna log into all this stuff since this is not my truck, but no, that's an option. And it's 100% capable like we've shown in previous install videos. The way they have the logic set up is it Bluetooth connects to the truck. So it uses all the factory things. So check this out. If we go to system, you got your whole EQ, you can get crazy with it. We have our microphone gain if you want to mess with that. If we go to general, you can change your settings, make sure it's on American mode. So if we go to console, settings, system, vehicle tab, you can get to all your settings like you would have in the factory menu. Let's go through them. Comfort and convenience has chime volume. Lighting has vehicle locator lights, exit lighting. You can compare this to your stock truck. I don't have one here. Auto door lock, unlock all doors, delayed door lock, remote lock, unlock and start, remote unlock light feedback, remote lock feedback, remote door lock unlock, remote window operation. And if you have a higher trim level, there might be more. You have your teen driver settings, valet mode. So you enter a code to lock it. You can toggle Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, audio, tone, auto volume, manage favorites. We don't have this on the prior generation Silverado that I own, which is a 2015. So it's cool to have this in the way the logic is set up. This whole menu you can customize and make it your own. This is like some audio track that came on the device. If the device is acting weird, which maybe once a year it could happen, swipe down from the top. You can hit reboot system. It'll just reboot it. You can choose your network, your Wi-Fi, connect it to your home Wi-Fi so it will do automatic updates and things like that, or if you need to update, you can. Other than that, this is pretty straightforward. When you are watching things like YouTube, since this is a Bluetooth signal from this Android tablet essentially to the car's module for the speakers, there's gonna be a little delay. So your mouth and your speaking, and by the time it makes it out of your speakers, there's gonna be a little bit of a delay. You should expect that. When you have just music, you don't have anything to reference, so it doesn't really matter, but it is still there. Now that I've confirmed that everything's working, I'm gonna go ahead and push this into place, and then we'll put the trim piece back on and peel off our screen protector.
This head unit does work with the reverse and 360 camera, bows and without bows. You'll select all that information in the ordering process with the link in the description. This truck specifically I'm working on was getting a tailgate replacement, and it did not have the factory backup camera attached, and so that's why I was not able to show you in this video, but it all does work standard procedure. It all ties into the factory control module, and this works smoothly. So you will have a backup camera and everything else like that, and you will select all your individual parameters when you do the ordering process down below.
In the kit are two of these brackets. This is gonna hold it on the top. The factory screw I'm gonna put through that side. That's gonna hold this bracket on. All right, it's nice and firm. Notice this side has the screw hole a little lower. That's important. Now when I put the correct one over here, it's also on the lower setting of the two. If you switch these brackets around, it will be wrong. These brackets are ready to go. Now we're ready to put the whole head unit in place. So we're gonna take the big box and the goop of wires, and we're gonna tuck it into that cubby. Then we're gonna lift it up. Everything's lined up. You have these two little screws. Okay, I just need to get these snug because they will strip easily. All right, screw this in. Just get it snug. This feels really solid. We have two more down below. All right, those two lowers are done. Touching it, wiggling it, everything feels great. So before we snap these trim pieces in that are included, fire it up, make sure everything works, because these are fragile, and the less times you take them off, usually the better off you are. I just tested it off camera, and everything's good. That looks good. Nice. All right, for the best part, boom, just popped in that lower trim panel, this one as well. In terms of fit and finish, the only thing on this specific truck is right here, there's a little bit of a gap, but since it's black to silver, I don't think anyone would really notice. I don't think it would bother most people, but if you are a perfectionist, this trim piece, I don't think it's gonna get any closer because I have everything snugged up and I saw it early on. That would not stop me at all from installing it, but just so you are aware, that is there. That's just part of it. It's hard to get these things perfect when they have to remake all the molds and everything for these mounting brackets and the whole thing. Here's a little look firsthand of the finished product. This is important to understand how your truck is connecting Bluetooth to the Android head unit. When you go to start up your truck, you turn it on, you might get a little startup like this. Your Apple CarPlay picks up right away. That's perfect. Now let's say you play some music and nothing's coming through the speakers. You go to console and you need to hit phone, and you need to make sure that the head unit is connected. It says disconnected right here. GT6 BTD is the head unit. It was what was called an external device. So we're gonna click that. It's connecting to the truck right now. Okay, so it says GT6 BTD connected. This is now connected to the truck. Therefore, your speakers will work. So when we go back, we can hit the window button, go back to our Apple CarPlay, go to now playing. It works as it should now. I repeat, if your speakers are not working right away, make sure that the head unit is connected to the truck by going to apps, console, and making sure that the phone GT6 BTD is connected. I have a feeling some of you are gonna wanna know this. If the icons are a little bit small, settings, display, smart display, zoom. Then when you go to all your apps, they're huge. I like this way more, but to each their own. I was the guinea pig. I caught some things. I worked back and forth with the manufacturer I'm doing directly. We sold thousands of these for the prior generation Silverado and many other year makes and model vehicles. And we talked directly to the manufacturer. We try to get you guys everything you need. We've had thousands of happy customers. Some of you have difficulties with installs and it's frustrating, I understand, but I cover every single detail, so you should be able to work it back and figure it out. There's that link in the top of the description. You'll be able to order this. We'd be so thankful to have your business after making videos like this and going through all the hiccups and getting it all fine-tuned so that it's a ready-to-go product, so you can order it from us. We'll get it to you within a week in most places. Depending on where you live, it might take a little longer, and you could just follow along in the video, install it, and then your daily driver will be completely different, and you'll have an awesome screen that looks beautiful, vivid. Got all your Apple CarPlay, you got your factory controls and everything still. I'm excited for you newer gen Chevy GMC guys. If you happen to have in your family a 2015 Silverado Sierra, that body style, 2014 to 18, I'll leave that video right here. You can watch the full install video on my personal truck. You might grab one of those for them too.